Welcome. We'll hang tight for just a bit. Testing going live on my phone, and so there's a little bit different format, but hopefully, I'm hoping that this will improve the quality of the stream just a bit. So keep me posted on how that is. For those of you who may be new, I'm Tim Fortescue, an IFS trained practitioner, really resonating with the spirituality aspect of IFS. It's been healing for me and my journey. And thanks so much, Imran, for your content. Grateful that, or for your comment. Grateful that you're able to join here. Would love to know, as folks are chiming in live, if you want to let me know where you're joining from. I'm here in the U.S., in the Madison, Wisconsin area. And thanks, Imran, for your feedback there on the videos. It's good to know that that is helpful. And as we go throughout our time today, if you have questions, type them in the chat and I will engage with those at the end of our time. And you can find out more about me on my website, faithfullygrowing.com. And Imran is asking, do you have any videos about parts related to fear of rejection and fear of abandonment? You may. I would encourage you, Imran, to do a search on my channel for common protector fears. And if you listen to some of those fears, you may resonate with some of those there. But it's generally those protectors that are protecting those younger exiles that have the fears there. From Lancashire, England. And so, yeah, well, thanks so much for chiming in. And you can always send me an email, Imran, if it's helpful, to tim@faithfullygrowing.com, and I'd be glad to engage with you more there. And as you have questions, if you're watching a recording, go ahead and put your chat and questions into, and I'll do my best to address those questions next week. I tried to do this at the same week each time here on YouTube. And so let's jump into some of the content. Before I do that, I do want to mention, first of all, if you haven't already, on my website, you can sign up for 25 free IFS guided meditations that I've got good feedback on that may be helpful. And let's see, what else? Here, check out some of my offerings if you're interested in doing some deeper parts work. I see clients individually, and heading into the fall, I have a couple open slots there, and also do group coaching and group sessions each month. And finally, I have some donation-based products. Really, a passion of mine is to help keep IFS accessible to all. And so check out some of those products and offerings. And finally, as you're over on the website, I do have a nonprofit aspect of my coaching practice to help keep IFS accessible. And you can make a donation there by clicking the Donate tab. Okay, enough of the advertisements there. And let me, before I lead us in just a general parts meditation, thought it'd be good to do just some general refreshers of IFS for those that may be new to the model, or I found even though I live and breathe this model, it's good to be reminded from time to time. And so here are some different aspects of internal family systems, and be aware of these as we do our meditation. First, parts. IFS views the mind is made up of different parts. The mind is multiple, and that's normal. And each part has its own thoughts, feelings, actions, impulses, beliefs, and roles that it takes in our internal system, much like an external family. And these parts form who we are. And then you have the self. And at the core, of IFS, the concept of self is this true, authentic nature that we have. The self is compassionate, curious, calm, and it can heal and lead the parts when accessed. And then you have our exiles, and these are the parts that carry wounds or burdens from past experiences. They're often suppressed or hidden because their pain is overwhelming, and the protectors are protecting those exiles because they have fears of opening that up. And remember that our parts are often younger than we are, even those protectors, and those exiles are often even younger, and reminding them who we are, that we are capable of leading our life. They don't have to bear life alone. There's a team here. And then you have that protective realm, the managers. These parts work proactively to prevent the exiles from being triggered. Often they can be controlling, criticizing, or pushing us to perform in certain ways. And then the managers are more proactive, and then you have the firefighters who are reactive. And when exiles do get triggered, these firefighters can step in to soothe pain quickly, often through impulsive or reactive behaviors and addiction, numbing, distracting. We can notice our exiles in many ways when we do that. And then you have the concept of unburdening. And this is a key process where parts are helped to release the burdens they carry, allowing them to take on healthier roles. Our goal is not to eliminate our parts, but to get them out of those extreme roles and to balance our system. And then witnessing is another key concept. This could be often it's the self, when we can feel calm, curious, compassionate toward our parts and witness them with a little bit of space. Often it's the self doing the witnessing, but it can also be other parts that are witnessing this conversation when we're engaging with a part directly. And witnessing is key. It can help parts that are witnessing build trust in who we are at our core, and it helps us to understand those parts more. And then blending. This occurs when parts become so dominant that it blends with the self. And often when I'm talking with clients or when I am triggered, I realize that a part that is anxious, that is younger, can often take over my system. And if I can just be aware of that and have that part give me some space and unblend, I can be a little more grounded there. And so the blending and unblending, knowing that we're blended with a part, and then unblending, having those parts give us some space so that we can witness them and understand more is helpful. And then ultimately healing. In IFS, healing happens. And this will be my last point, and I'll lead us in our meditation. When the self connects with the parts, understanding and unburdening them, which leads to a more harmonious internal system and a healing. It is helpful there. So be aware of your parts, the self, exiles, and then that protective realm, managers, firefighters, and the unburdening process, which leads to healing, and then just the witnessing, and then when you're blended with a part, and when you're unblended from a part. Imran, my email is tim@faithfullygrowing.com, and anyone can send me an email if you have questions. And I see some people have joined. If you have comments as we go throughout our time or questions, ask them now. I'll address them at the end of our time. If you're watching a recording, let me know your questions too, and let me know the parts that you're noticing that are coming up as we lead a meditation. But today, just going to do a general parts check-in. So let's pause for a bit. Settle into where you are. You can close your eyes if you'd like to, but if you prefer, you can just let your gaze rest softly in front of you. Just notice your internal world. And today, just do a sort of a group parts huddle. This is something you can do each day if you choose. Or maybe you prefer a team meeting, gathering around a conference table. Or maybe something else. Maybe you're tired of the conference table in the classroom. Pick something that works for you. Just welcome your parts in. Those thoughts, feelings, actions, impulses, beliefs. Who's showing up? There's probably a lot of protectors, managers, proactive, firefighters, reactive. Just let them know that you see them. We're just going to be curious for a few minutes. There's no agenda here other than creating some space, unblending, so that we can witness our parts, they can witness us. And maybe you're noticing one part in particular that is more present than others. Just check in and see where you're noticing that part, in or around your body. Maybe it's a group of parts, or maybe it's just a general sensation toward all your parts. Where are you noticing them? And just sense into that. And then check in and see how you're feeling toward your parts. And if you can sense even a drop of compassion, curiosity, extend them toward the part that is present the most, or the group of parts, or your parts in general. Just extend a little compassion or curiosity. And if you can't muster up a drop, it's likely another part that may need some attention. So be aware of that and just turn to it. And see if it could soften back. And if it can, thank it. If it can't, stay with that part. Check in with the other parts and see if they're okay with that. And if they are, check in with the part that won't soften back. And then settle back in and either go back to the part that's present the most or the new part. And sense where you're noticing it in or around your body. If you can't get a body sensation, sometimes it's a visual of some parts on that corner of the room, some parts over there. Could be a color or an image. Then check in and see how you're feeling toward the part or parts that want your attention the most right now. And extend them just a little compassion if you can. And then just say one simple thing. I'm here. See what you notice. And there may be a distrust with your parts. It may have been a while. They may doubt that you're here and have some questions. Let them know that's valid. And what do they need? What questions do they have? And let them know this is it. We're not going any deeper here. Just want to spend some time to see what else. And how do you want to respond to their questions, or do you have questions for them? How are the parts responding to having some attention? And let them know we're about to kind of begin to wrap up. See if there's anything else, and just pause for another 15 seconds or so. And let your parts know that you're focusing on. This doesn't have to be the last time. It's been short for now, but you'd like to spend more time with them if they'd like that, if it feels right for you. And thank them for their courage, for as much or as little as they shared. They've been working really hard. But they've got you now. And if they can trust you just a little more to lead your life, to drive the bus, they may be surprised. But we're not going to force them. It takes time to build this trust. Then when you're done expressing gratitude, just look around to the other parts that are there. See how they're doing. Thank them for their courage and pausing and witnessing, and let them know that they can have a chance too, to have a voice in the future if they'd like that, and if it feels right for you. And then just spend time just doing a little more gratitude to your whole system. You're a team. You're all in this together. But no one part has to shoulder the burdens of life alone. They've got you. They've got others. And I truly believe we've got something bigger than ourselves involved in all of this. And so just let your parts take that in. They don't have to believe it all. Just see if they could trust just a little more. And then when it feels right, you can come back to the present moment where you are. You can open your eyes if they were closed and continue about life. But thanks so much for your courage in joining me for this meditation. Now hang tight for just a bit if you have questions. And if you're watching the recording, put your questions in and I will address those questions next week on the live. Try to do this each week. And if if you'd like to connect with me outside of this, send me an email to tim@faithfullygrowing.com. And you can also get some resources on my website and sign up for those 25 guided meditations. Mark, I hope you're doing well. Good to see you on here. I know you've commented before. Do younger parts stay with a young perspective, or is it the goal to grow them up a bit? And Mark, that's a good question. And I would say that, yeah, the younger parts, it's okay for them, as you probably heard me say before, to go play. Sometimes those younger parts just want to go and play on a playground, be kids. Again, that's what they were designed to do. But they bring us the gifts of, for example, those managers who may be working so hard, as for example, a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old, to keep a younger version of us safe. They come and they think they're 16. And we're like, no, like, go to a party, go do something you want to do as a 16-year-old. But you bring gifts that keep me on track, keep me from doing things that could ruin my life. And that makes us whole. That makes you who you are. That makes the self for the belovedness. Those gifts that they bring make us who we are today. For example, I'm 44. And so this 16-year-old can go be a 16-year-old because that's what they're longing to do, so they don't have to work so hard. But they can, when they unburden, they can go be whoever they are. But they bring us the gifts that make us whole and who we are today. And so it's not a sense of, I mean, there's some like young child parts where you say, okay, little Tim, you're not little anymore. You need to grow up and be with me now. This puts it in a both and perspective. You can go play. You don't have to grow up, but you bring me gifts that make me grown up and who I am now. And so it's all positive, and I like that approach. And of course, the imagery breaks down at some point, but hopefully that was helpful, and you let me know if it's not, and we can talk about it more for sure. Thanks, Mark. I'm glad that you hopped on here, and yes, and yeah, I look forward to connecting more. We can, yeah, see how that landed. Okay, well, I'm gonna chime off for now. For those of you who are curious, at so it's 9:20 here where I am. I also do this on Insight Timer at 9:30. And so if you notice, I'm a little rushed to transition off and to get my text started. I do this again on another platform, and you're always welcome to join me there. But thanks, Mark. Thanks, Imran, if you're still around, and reach out if you need to, and join me next week if you can. But grateful for what we're doing here, and I'm grateful to grow right alongside of you. And so have a great week, and take care, and see you soon. All right, bye-bye.